Have you ever felt that 1 year can change your life forever? Sometimes, 1 year teaches you more than the last 10 years combined. 2025 was that kind of year for many people. It was a year of surprises, breakthroughs, failures, growth, and deep realizations. And if you open your mind, the lessons from this year can prepare you for the rest of your life. Some people say, a year is just a number. But that is wrong. A year is a mirror. It shows you who you are becoming. And if you look closely at this mirror, you will find messages that can guide you, push you, and transform you. That is what we will explore today on English Achieve. So if you are watching this, stay until the end. Because somewhere in these 19 lessons, you will find exactly what you need right now. Maybe it is clarity, maybe it is strength, maybe it is motivation, or maybe it is the push you have been waiting for. Let's begin. Lesson 1. Your life changes. When your habits change. 2025 reminded us of one simple but powerful truth. Your habits shape your future more than your dreams, your wishes, or your motivation. Many people began the year with big goals. They wanted to change their whole life in one day. They wanted to become successful quickly. But very soon, they became tired, confused, and disappointed. Why? Because big goals without small daily habits do not work. The people who truly grew in 2025 were not the loudest, the fastest, or the most talented. They were the slow, steady workers who repeated one positive action every single day. They did not wait for perfect timing. They did not wait for motivation. They picked one habit: waking up early, reading daily, exercising, saving money, learning a new skill, and they protected it like a treasure. Over time, this small habit built discipline. Discipline built confidence. And confidence built bigger success. The truth is that habits are like seeds. You plant them quietly, water them daily, and one day they become a strong tree. If you want your life to change, do not start with a huge dream. Start with one small habit you practice every day. That is where transformation begins. Lesson 2. Silence is a superpower. 2025 taught us something that many people forget in today's noisy world. Silence is not a weakness. It is a powerful tool. Many people think talking loudly, showing off, and telling everyone their plans will make them successful. But this year showed the opposite. The people who created real progress were the ones who protected their focus by staying quiet. They didn't waste their time explaining their dreams to people who wouldn't understand. They didn't try to prove anything on social media. They didn't talk about every small step they were taking. Instead, they used their silence to build strength, clarity, and discipline. Silence helped them listen to their inner voice. Silence helped them avoid distractions. Silence helped them save their energy for the things that truly mattered. And because they moved quietly, nobody saw their struggles, but everyone saw their results. Loud people spent the year talking, complaining, and seeking attention. Quiet people spent the year working, improving, and staying committed. And at the end of the year, the difference was clear. Noise creates pressure, but silence creates power. When you stop trying to impress people, you free yourself to focus deeply. When you stop talking and start doing, life begins to change. Silence helps you protect your goals from negativity, jealousy, and doubt. It turns your life into a private project, not a public performance. That is why 2025 made one truth very clear. Your silence is your secret weapon, and your results will always speak louder than your words. Lesson 3. Consistency beats talent. 2025 also proved a lesson that many people have heard but still do not fully understand. Consistency is more powerful than talent. Talent can give you a quick start, but consistency determines who reaches the finish line. This year, many talented people began with excitement and confidence. They started fast, but they couldn't continue. They depended on motivation, mood, and natural ability. And when things became difficult, they stopped, gave up, or lost interest. On the other hand, consistent people made progress slowly but steadily. They did not need to be the best. They did not need to be perfect. They simply kept showing up. Every day they took one step, even on days when they felt tired, even on days when they felt discouraged, even on days when they did not see results. Because of this, they built habits, discipline, and resilience, things far more valuable than talent. While the talented waited for inspiration, the consistent continued working. While the talented made excuses, the consistent made progress. By the end of the year, the difference was unbelievable. People who started behind ended ahead. People who had no natural advantage became strong through repetition. People who once doubted themselves became confident because consistency created evidence of their growth. The lesson is simple. Talent can open the first door, but consistency opens every door after that. If you want to succeed, don't worry about being the most talented. Be the most consistent. Small daily actions, repeated again and again, build a future that talent alone can never achieve. Lesson 4. Your mindset is your real home. 2025 reminded us of a truth that is easy to forget in the busy world we live in. Your real home is not your house, your city, or your country. Your real home is your mind. You wake up in your mind, you make decisions from your mind, and you sleep with the thoughts inside your mind. If your mind is full of fear, doubt, and negativity, then even the simplest days feel heavy and painful. But if your mind is strong, positive, and clear, then even difficult days become manageable. This year showed that mental strength is not something extra that only some people need. It is something every human being must develop. Life will not always go as you expect. People will hurt you, ignore you, or misunderstand you. Opportunities will come and go. Surprises, both good and bad, will appear at any moment. In these moments, the world outside will not save you. Only your inner world will. That is why your mindset must be trained like a muscle. When something goes wrong, you must teach your mind to stay calm instead of panicking. When someone disappoints you, you must teach your mind to let go instead of breaking apart. When a plan fails, you must teach your mind to try again instead of giving up. Every challenge is a test, and every test is a chance to strengthen your mental home. A weak mind makes a strong life impossible, but a strong mind makes even a difficult life meaningful and manageable. 2025 taught us one powerful message. If you learn to master your mind, you can master your life. Lesson 5. Your time is precious. Protect it. Among all the lessons learned in 2025, one of the clearest and most painful was this. Time is the only thing you can never recover once it is gone. You can lose money and earn it again. You can lose people and meet new ones. You can lose motivation and rebuild it. But every minute wasted is lost forever. Many people discovered this too late. They spent hours scrolling on their phones, watching meaningless content, arguing about things that didn't matter, gossiping about others, or complaining instead of taking action. At the end of the year, they wondered why their life did not change. The truth is simple. Your life does not change when you want it to change. It changes when you use your time differently. In 2025, the people who respected their time achieved more with less effort. They learned to say no to distractions. They learned to limit their screen time. They learned to avoid people who drained their energy. They learned to focus on what truly mattered. When you protect your time, you protect your future. When you guard your hours, you guard your goals. Time is not just a number on a clock. Time is your life in small pieces. Every hour you waste is a piece of your life you will never get back. But every hour you use wisely moves you closer to a better version of yourself. 2025 made this truth crystal clear. If you want a powerful life, you must first protect the minutes that build your life. Time is the most precious thing you own. Treat it with respect, and it will reward you. Lesson 6. You become stronger when you stop avoiding pain. 2025 taught us something many people try to ignore. Pain is not the end of your story. It is the beginning of your strength. Most people try to avoid pain because they believe it is something bad, something scary, something dangerous. But the truth is that avoiding pain only creates more pain later. When you avoid emotional pain, it grows in silence. When you avoid financial pain, the problem becomes bigger. When you avoid personal challenges, your confidence becomes weaker. This year showed that the people who accepted their pain early became stronger much faster. They did not run away from uncomfortable feelings. They did not hide from difficult conversations. They did not pretend that everything was fine. Instead, they faced the truth, even when it hurt. Pain has a strange power. It shows you who you really are. It reveals your weaknesses so you can fix them. It breaks your illusions so you can grow with clarity. It destroys your excuses and forces you to change your life. People who accepted their pain in 2025 learned something very important. Every time you face pain, you earn strength. Every time you walk through difficulty, you gain wisdom. Every time you sit with discomfort, you become more powerful than before. You will never grow by avoiding challenges. You will grow by taking steps through your challenges. Pain does not come to break you. It comes to teach you, guide you, and prepare you for a stronger life. When you stop running from it, you stop living in fear. And once you stop living in fear, you discover a new version of yourself, more confident, more capable, and more in control of your future. Lesson 7. Taking responsibility sets you free. If 2025 taught one lesson clearly, it is this: your life will not change until you take responsibility for it. Many people spent the year blaming others, their parents, their boss, their friends, their situation, their past. But blame keeps you stuck. Blame gives your power away. Blame makes you a passenger in your own life. Responsibility does the opposite. When you say, "This is my life, and I must fix it," something powerful happens inside you. You stop waiting. You stop complaining. You stop hoping someone will save you. Instead, you begin to act. Responsibility forces you to look honestly at your habits, your decisions, your mistakes, and your future. It can feel uncomfortable at first because it removes all excuses. But it also gives you something priceless: freedom. When you take responsibility, you take control. You realize that your job won't suddenly become better unless you improve your skills. Your relationships won't magically change unless you change how you communicate. Your future won't improve unless you make the decision to improve it. Taking responsibility does not mean blaming yourself for everything. It means understanding that your actions shape your life more than anything else. It means accepting that your future is not in the hands of other people. It is in your hands. In 2025, the people who embraced responsibility transformed their lives. They became more confident because they knew they were in control. They became stronger because they stopped relying on others. They became happier because they stopped expecting life to be easy and started working to make it better. The moment you take responsibility is the moment your real life begins. It is not a burden. It is your greatest freedom. Lesson 8. Not everyone is meant to continue with you. 2025 taught us a deeply emotional but necessary lesson. Not everyone who starts with you is meant to finish with you. Some people were only meant to stay for a season, not a lifetime. Some were meant to teach you lessons, not travel your whole journey. And when these people leave, it can hurt. It can feel confusing. It can feel unfair. But slowly, you begin to understand something important. Losing people is not always a loss. Sometimes, it is actually protection. Sometimes life removes people you don't have the strength to let go of. Sometimes the universe clears your path by removing those who block your growth, your peace, or your confidence. This year showed that people who walked away were often not part of your future, no matter how deeply they were part of your past. Their exit created space. Space for new relationships, new opportunities, new growth, and new versions of yourself. Many people discovered that once certain people left, they felt lighter, clearer, and more focused. They finally had room to breathe. They finally had emotional space to think about themselves. They finally had time to grow. Letting go is not a sign of weakness. It is a sign of maturity. It means you respect your own peace enough to release what no longer supports your life. It means you trust the process enough to believe better is coming. And it means you understand that your journey is personal. Some people are chapters, not the whole book. 2025 reminded us that you cannot force everyone to stay. But you can choose to grow, even when someone leaves. And when the wrong people exit your life, the right ones finally have room to enter. Lesson 9. Hard work does not break you. It builds you. 300 words. In a world that often searches for shortcuts, easy solutions, and fast results, 2025 delivered a much-needed message. Hard work is not your enemy. Hard work is the process that transforms you. Many people learn that feeling tired does not mean you are failing. Feeling tired means you are stretching your limits, learning new skills, and stepping into a stronger version of yourself. Growth is not comfortable. Progress is not smooth. Success is not effortless. The people who moved forward this year were not the ones who avoided hard work. They were the ones who accepted it as part of the journey. They woke up early even when they didn't want to. They practiced again and again, even when progress was slow. They pushed through difficult days instead of giving up, and every small effort built something inside them: discipline, confidence, courage, and resilience. Hard work is the bridge between who you are and who you could become. It shapes your character. It strengthens your mindset. It turns your dreams into reality. Many people discovered that after months of consistent effort, they were no longer the same person. They were stronger mentally, tougher emotionally, and more capable than ever before. Hard work teaches you patience. It teaches you responsibility. It teaches you how to keep moving forward even when life becomes difficult. Instead of breaking you, It builds you from the inside out. In 2025, those who embraced hard work created opportunities that talent alone could never guarantee. They realized a powerful truth. Pain from effort is temporary, but pride from growth lasts forever. When you stop fearing hard work, you unlock the door to everything you want in life. Lesson 10. Peace is more important than approval. 2025 taught us a deep and liberating truth. Peace is far more valuable than approval. Many people spent years trying to be liked by everyone, trying to please everyone, trying to fit into expectations that were never meant for them. But this year showed that seeking approval is a never-ending struggle. No matter how much you do, someone will still misunderstand you. No matter how kind you are, someone will still dislike you. No matter how hard you work, someone will still complain. Approval is a moving target. You can never fully catch it. But peace is something you can build inside yourself. People who chose peace in 2025 discovered a new kind of freedom. They stopped explaining their dreams to people who did not care. They stopped apologizing for who they are. They stopped trying to please everyone and started honoring their own values. They began to protect their mental space. They learned to choose silence instead of arguments, distance instead of drama, and clarity instead of confusion. Once they stopped chasing approval, their confidence grew. Their focus increased. Their happiness became more stable. They realized that not everyone needs to like them, and that is perfectly okay. Peace is not about avoiding problems. It is about choosing what deserves your attention. It is about choosing calm over chaos, purpose over noise, and authenticity over pressure. 2025 made one thing very clear. The moment you choose peace over approval is the moment you truly begin to live. When you stop being afraid of people's opinions, you finally become the person you were meant to be. Lesson 11. Your environment shapes your success. Another powerful truth from 2025 was this: your environment silently shapes your future. Many people think their environment doesn't matter, but the truth is that it influences your thoughts, your habits, your discipline, and even your dreams. This year showed us that spending time with lazy, negative, or confused people creates a life filled with the same energy. Lazy days, negative thoughts, and confused decisions. Your environment is like the soil where your life grows. If the soil is unhealthy, your growth becomes slow. If the soil is toxic, your growth becomes painful. But if the soil is supportive, inspiring, and positive, you grow faster, stronger, and with more confidence. People who changed their environment in 2025 saw major transformation. They reduced time with people who drained their energy. They limited conversations that led to gossip and complaining. They stepped away from environments that encouraged bad habits. Instead, they searched for people who inspired them, people who wanted to grow, people who respected time, people who discussed ideas instead of people. They joined communities that matched their goals. They surrounded themselves with those who challenged them to think bigger, act better, and stay disciplined. And slowly, their life began to change. Their habits improved. Their mindset became clearer. Their motivation increased. Success is not just about who you are. It is also about who you are around. 2025 made this truth undeniable. If you want a better life, choose a better environment. Surround yourself with people who push you forward, and you will rise without even realizing it. Lesson 12. Rest is not a waste of time. 2025 showed us something many people forget in the race of modern life. Rest is not the enemy of success. Rest is a part of success. Many people used to feel guilty for taking a break. They believed they had to stay busy every minute to prove they were hardworking. But this year revealed the truth. Exhaustion does not create greatness. Clarity does. When you are tired all the time, you cannot think clearly. You make poor decisions. You lose creativity. Your motivation becomes weak. Rest is not laziness. Rest is strategy. Rest is preparation. Rest is the fuel that helps you move forward with strength instead of dragging your life with tired steps. People who rested wisely in 2025 discovered something surprising. When they returned to work, they worked better, faster, and with more focus. Their mind was fresh. Their energy was high. Their ideas were stronger. Rest gave them the power to continue instead of quitting halfway. Rest also teaches balance. It reminds you that you are human, not a machine. You need sleep. You need moments of stillness. You need hours where your mind does nothing but breathe. Growth requires energy, and energy requires rest. The people who ignored rest burned out. But the people who respected rest became sharper, healthier, and more productive. This year made one thing clear. If you want long-term success, learn to rest, not quit. Recharging is not a waste of time. It is the foundation of your next level. Lesson 13. Money follows discipline, not dreams. 2025 taught a powerful financial truth. Money does not follow people who only dream. It follows people who are disciplined. Dreams are easy. Anyone can imagine a better future. Anyone can talk about goals. Anyone can wish for success. But money does not reward wishes. Money rewards habits. It rewards consistency. It rewards skills. It rewards long-term thinking. People who grew financially in 2025 were not the ones who talked the most. They were the ones who took daily action. They learned new skills instead of wasting time. They saved money instead of spending carelessly. They invested instead of hoping for luck. They practiced discipline even on days when they felt lazy or uninspired. Discipline is the real secret behind financial growth. It teaches you to delay pleasure, to ignore impulsive spending, to focus on value instead of emotions, and to prepare for your future instead of living only for today. Many people finally understood that waiting does not create wealth. Hoping does not create wealth. Discipline creates wealth. When you manage your habits, your money becomes stronger. When you improve your skills, your earning power increases. When you stay consistent, your opportunities expand. Money respects people who respect effort. Money follows people who respect time. Money supports people who are serious about growth. 2025 made it crystal clear. Dreams inspire you, but discipline pays you. If you want more money in your life, stop relying only on vision and start building discipline. One habit at a time. Lesson 14. Gratitude changes everything. Gratitude is one of the most powerful forces that can transform your life without changing your external circumstances. When you practice gratitude every day, your life begins to feel richer. Even before you earn more money, achieve more goals, or reach your dreams. Gratitude teaches your mind to focus on what is present instead of what is missing. It helps you see blessings where others see problems. It makes you aware of opportunities that others overlook. This year, many people discovered that gratitude reduces comparison. When you start appreciating what you already have, your health, your family, your mind, your ability to learn, your daily routines, you no longer feel jealous of what others have. Gratitude brings calmness because it shifts your energy from I lack to I have. It turns small moments into big joys and simple experiences into meaningful memories. The most peaceful people of 2025 were not the richest or the most successful. They were the ones who learned to be thankful for the little things. A quiet morning, a warm meal, a safe home, a friend who cares, a chance to improve, a small win that others might ignore. Gratitude strengthens your mental health, helps you stay grounded, and gives you emotional stability. Life becomes lighter when you stop complaining and start appreciating. Gratitude does not mean you stop growing. It means you grow without stress and without envy. When you build gratitude into your daily life, motivation rises, your focus improves, and your attitude becomes stronger. Gratitude does not change the world around you, but it changes the world inside you. And that changes everything. Lesson 15. The world respects results, not excuses. In 2025, a tough but important truth became clear. Excuses might make you feel better, but they will never make your life better. People may listen to your excuses out of politeness, but the world itself does not respond to excuses. It responds to action. Results shape your future, not explanations. Many people spent this year telling stories about why they couldn't start, why they didn't have time, why life was unfair, or why the conditions weren't perfect. But those who moved forward, even with fear and uncertainty, were the ones who changed their lives. Action builds confidence. Doing something, even imperfectly, is always better than waiting for the perfect moment. Excuses protect your ego, but they destroy your future. They create comfort but reduce growth. Every time you justify your delay, you lose momentum. Every time you blame someone else, you lose control. Every time you choose excuses, you choose the same life. 2025 proved that effort is respected, consistency is respected, progress is respected. People admire those who take responsibility and work toward improvement. They admire those who show results, not reasons. If you want a different life, you must change your actions, not your explanations. Life rewards people who show up, stay disciplined, and finish what they start. The world respects the person who keeps promises to themselves, who works quietly, who builds skills, who pushes through difficulties, and who takes ownership of their journey. If you want change, replace excuses with effort. Replace fear with courage. Replace waiting with doing. Your progress begins the moment your excuses end. Lesson 16. Your thoughts shape your reality. 2025 reminded us of a truth that is often overlooked. Your thoughts are the foundation of everything you experience. Every success, every failure, every opportunity, and every challenge begins in your mind. The way you think determines how you see the world and how the world responds to you. People who thought negatively this year often ended up living negative lives. They focused on problems instead of solutions, on fear instead of courage, on limitations instead of possibilities. Their reality reflected the mindset they carried every day. On the other hand, people who trained their minds to think positively and believe in themselves found opportunities that others ignored. They noticed solutions instead of problems. They acted even when the path was unclear. They understood that every thought is like a seed. If you plant doubt, fear, or negativity, you grow struggle. But if you plant belief, confidence, and determination, you grow strength, success, and resilience. This year showed that controlling your thoughts is not optional. It is essential. You cannot control every situation in life, but you can control how you respond. You cannot change everything around you, but you can change the way you see it. When you strengthen your mind and choose your thoughts carefully, you begin to direct your life instead of being directed by circumstances. Your reality always follows your thinking. 2025 proved that the strongest tool you have is the mind you feed every day. Lesson 17. You don't need permission to change your life. One of the most empowering lessons from 2025 is this: you do not need anyone's approval to change your life. Many people spend years waiting for permission, support, or validation before taking action. They ask friends, family, or society if it is okay to grow, improve, or pursue their dreams. But life does not wait for permission, and neither should you. Change begins the moment you decide to take responsibility for yourself. You may have to start alone. You may feel uncertain, unsupported, or even misunderstood. But that is normal. Every person who has ever created a better life started with a single decision to act despite fear or doubt. 2025 showed that once people began making their own choices and taking small steps toward improvement, their path became clearer. Slowly, the right people, the right opportunities, and the right resources appeared. Support often comes after action, not before it. Waiting for permission only delays your growth and keeps you stuck in the same place. You have the power to begin today, in your own way, with the tools you have. You do not need approval to start, and you do not need validation to continue. The moment you take the first step alone, the journey begins. Change is always possible when you act, and eventually, your progress will attract the support you need. 2025 reminded us that independence, courage, and action are the true keys to transformation. Lesson 18. Your future depends on discipline, not motivation. 2025 showed a powerful truth. Motivation is temporary, but discipline lasts. Many people waited for motivation to appear before taking action. They thought, when I feel like it, I will start. But motivation is like the weather. It comes and goes. Some days it is strong, and some days it is weak. People who relied only on motivation often stopped working when they didn't feel inspired. On the other hand, the people who transformed their lives this year were not always motivated. They were disciplined. They worked even when they didn't feel like it. They showed up even on days that felt hard, boring, or exhausting. They understood that discipline is what creates results, not fleeting feelings. Discipline keeps you moving when life is difficult. Discipline builds habits that shape your future. Motivation may push you for a day, a week, or a month, but discipline sustains you for a lifetime. 2025 proved that consistent, disciplined effort is more important than short bursts of inspiration. When you commit to discipline, you take control of your actions, regardless of how you feel. Every small task done consistently builds momentum, confidence, and progress. Discipline creates freedom, strength, and stability. The life you want is not built on motivation alone. It is built on consistent effort, self-control, and persistence. If you want lasting change, develop discipline, and the results will follow automatically. Lesson 19. The next year starts in your mind, not on the calendar. The final lesson from 2025 is perhaps the most important. A new year does not automatically create a new you. Many people believe that changing the date will change their life. They think, next year I will be different. But a calendar cannot change your habits, your mindset, or your choices. Your life changes when you change, not when the year changes. 2025 showed that true transformation begins in the mind. If you want the next year to be better, you must first think differently. You must decide differently. You must act differently. You cannot wait for external circumstances to push you forward. You cannot rely on luck, timing, or the opinions of others. Change comes when you commit to becoming better mentally, emotionally, and practically. People who started their next year successfully in 2025 did not wait for January 1st. They prepared themselves before it. They cleared old habits, trained their mind, set new priorities, and practiced small actions consistently. They understood that progress is created inside first, and the world responds later. If you want a meaningful year, it starts with your mindset today. The way you think, choose, and act now will define your life for the coming year. The calendar only marks time. Your thoughts, decisions, and actions mark growth. 2025 reminded us that real change is personal, intentional, and inside out. Your life will never change because the date changes. It will only change because you change. Final message. These 19 lessons from 2025 are more than just reflections on the past. They are powerful tools you can use to shape your future. They are reminders of what truly matters and opportunities to grow stronger, wiser, and more focused. If you carry these lessons into the next year, your life will not stay the same. You will think better, act better, and make decisions that bring real results. You will grow faster than you ever imagined, and you will develop the discipline, mindset, and habits to build the life you truly want. Here on English Achieve, we believe learning is the bridge between where you are and where you want to be. Every lesson you apply becomes a step forward. Every small change compounds over time, and every action brings you closer to the person you are capable of becoming. Remember this: a year alone does not change you, but what you learn and how you apply it can change everything. If you are watching this, you are already doing what many people never do. You are learning, growing, and preparing for a stronger future. Keep going, stay focused, and never stop improving. Your best chapter is still unwritten, and the choices you make today will define it.